Well, how the mighty have fallen, haven't they? Well, actually, the fat have fallen. Because you all have probably heard about Lizzo and her earth-shattering fall from grace. Those of you who don't know, basically we have Lizzo, who is a major fat activist, body positivity role model, the messiah of fatness. And she's been accused by her own backup dancers of behaving highly inappropriately, belittling them, making fun of them, fat shaming them, and that is the daytime activities, because she's also being accused of taking them to a bar in Amsterdam where she put a lot of pressure on these people to, participate in particular adult activities. And that is just definitely crossing a line as an employer, especially when you're the person out here professing all of this sainthood and how people should act and the morality of things, all while being a massive hypocrite. Now, what's very important, and that I'm missing in a lot of these covering online, is that the owner of this bar was actually interviewed, and he stated that nothing inappropriate happened. Now, my first reaction when I read that was, obviously this guy has a vested interest, because not only is, Lizzo there, but there are a lot of high profile individuals will visit this bar, and those people usually spend a lot. So him sticking by the people who basically paid a massive bar bill is something you would expect. You would always expect the owner to stand behind them. Now, if he's speaking the truth, then it's very easy for her to just call upon him and the staff that work there as witnesses and say, hey, look, nothing happened. And the reason why it's very important is that they actually have a very specific policy at this bar where they train their personnel. At least that is what he claims. So the professional dancers and personnel at the bar are trained to notice different signals. He says, everybody knows exactly what should happen if a situation becomes unpleasant or if someone is uncomfortable with the activities that are going on. So this is very important because it basically shows that this bar isn't just your average strip club or your average adult fun place. If they have this policy in place and they have this actual training in place, and the personnel and the dancers, everybody there did not see anything inappropriate happen or that anybody was uncomfortable, that's a pretty strong argument for Lizzo, because she can point to this and say, hey, look, these people are professionally trained in noticing this and they all say nothing happened. Now, that said, like I said before, it's obviously in the bar's interest. So it's going to be a very interesting lawsuit where I'm assuming the owners of the bar are going to have to testify depending on what actually happened. What is so insane about this is not just that it's inappropriate to ask people to participate in these activities, but it's actually truly disgusting and unsafe, if you will, to catch things that are coming out of someone else's, baby slide, because not only are these strippers, but they are probably escorts as well, and I do not want to touch anything that's being shot out of a stripper's baby slide. So, pressuring people to do that is beyond insane and disgusting, and yes, you should definitely lose a lot of your your status as a positive role model on society if this turns out to be true. So Lizzo getting accused of being a fat shamer when she's supposed to be the messiah of body positivity and fat activism is truly a beautiful hypocrisy cluster. So please drop a like on the video if you agree that the body positivity movement is just this toxic snake and they're all full of it. They are all full of it. Now, the allegations sort of paint a broader picture that is well known in the dance community, that you have to go along with everything that is being asked of you because you could be out on your ass within seconds. You could also argue that why would you put yourself in a position like that? Get a different job, because if you really have to be on board with every single thing, otherwise you might get fired. I mean, I wouldn't even want to be around people like that or work in an industry like that, because that's just crazy. And it just puts you in a very vulnerable position like we have seen here today. And this really highlights all of the hypocrisy that we've been talking about on this channel and several videos on the main channel in the body positivity and fat positivity movement, where people love to throw out all these ideals and these morals and how we should live and how we should be, and that everybody who doesn't fully accept someone who is, grotesquely obese is a hater, is someone who's supporting violence or whatever. They want to throw all these terrible labels at you. But then they realized they are doing the exact same thing that they accuse everybody else of doing, and they built this entire business model around how sad and lonely and fat they are. But meanwhile, they are fat shaming other people, allegedly. So for me, the whole fat shaming part is ironic, but obviously I don't think that making jokes of someone's weight or making jokes is the worst thing in the world. But yeah, if you are an activist and you are so against it and schooling people all the time that you're not allowed to do this, then yeah, you should definitely not talk to your own people like that. With the other allegations, what happened in the bar, that would actually constitute a real hashtag Me Too situation, which is far worse. And that would also result in these individuals that are suing Lizzo that they could actually walk away with a large sum of money, and might be a little bit easier to prove. Now, besides the whole fat hypocrisy and body positivity hypocrisy that is all over this case, it's also interesting to see some of the tweets and responses online, especially by Lizzo's own fan base, which is very, very funny, since usually these people are the ones that say, believe all women, until that a woman gets accused of things that men normally get accused of, because then no, they want details and they want to hear the other side of the story, and they're not sure about certain details, and these things don't add up. So those are obviously valid points to make, and I think that always when allegations are made, you should wait for proper evidence to come out. It's just funny when you hear it from the other side, from people that are always 100% convinced that as soon as a guy gets accused of something, boom, he's guilty. And if he gets away with it, oh, that's just because he played the system or he's rich and powerful. It's never that he's actually innocent. No. He is guilty because a woman said so. But in this case, you have two women coming out and making these allegations, and I am not really seeing this believe all women all over the internet, and it's really only being done because they don't like their hero, their body positivity hero, to be exposed as a complete fraud. That's the only reason why they're doing this, because I've actually looked at some of the details of this case, and so it seems like a very credible case. It's a sort of a pattern, because not only were her backup dancers experiencing, just very, very terrible behavior, there's a lot of other people that worked with Lizzo or with her people that have just a terrible, terrible experience. So for instance, we have this filmmaker, Sophie Nahil, who made a documentary about Lizzo and said that she quit after 2 weeks because she was just absolutely humiliated and treated with such disrespect. And first of all, a documentary about Lizzo is definitely going to be successful. I mean, you're making a documentary about a very well-known, very popular artist. So to walk away from that as a documentary filmmaker, you probably are stepping away from a lot of money, a lot of fame, a lot of opportunities. So something really bad probably happened there that made it impossible for you to continue. In addition to that, Quinn Wilson, who worked as a creative director for Lizzo, also came out and said that it is just an absolute disgusting cesspool of toxic people. And this was within hours after this coming out. So again, if we're talking about credibility of the allegations here, it really helps to build that, because normally when these allegations are made, people will wait, or people will just talk to like, hey, yeah, brave of you to do this, or hey, I support you through everything. They just make these generic statements. It's very rare for people to come out and say, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about, and it's true, and yes, I've seen all of that as well. And so this lets me to believe that it's really not about this single incident in the Bananenbar, which on itself is of course terrible enough, but it seems to hint at a clear pattern that Lizzo is an absolutely terrible human being, and it's just terrible to work for her. But what's going to be important here is that are more and more people going to come out the woodworks? Because if the picture that's being painted that Lizzo is just absolutely terrible and toxic to everyone she works with, and that her entire entourage and her work environment is a toxic cesspool, then there really should be far more people to come out. I mean, it's basically just like you saw with Harvey Weinstein. It wasn't just one person who was having a problem. It was dozens and dozens of people. So as soon as one person comes out, if it's really a pattern, there are dozens of people out there that have the same experience and same stories, which we should see coming forward in the next couple of months then. I'm gonna leave it at that for today. Check out some of the other body positivity videos and fat activism on the channel and on the main channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.